So, Wes, what legacy do you want to leave?
Hmm. So I think I've always been uh, I don't know if self-focused is the right word, but not necessarily worried about what others are going to think.
Hmm.
Like I wouldn't care how many people are at my funeral or what they're going to say after or whatever. I try not to put too much stock in that. But as I've gotten older, I think more and more I want to be a part of like my local community.
Hmm.
Like we didn't talk about this, but I had a whole startup that I tried to launch when I got out of the military, and it didn't end up going anywhere. But it was national in scale, and it was gonna do like the traditional high growth tech startup route.
Hmm.
And now, like most of the business ideas that pop into my head are local.
Hmm.
Now I think like one of the funnest things, like if you gave me $50 million, told me to do whatever I want, some things might change lifestyle wise, but I think I would use most of that to start probably multiple small businesses in my local community. I
Hmm.
think that's the type of legacy I would want to leave is something that actually gives back to the community that you reside in, hires and benefits your neighbors, the people around you, creates relationships with the people around you, um, and something ultimately that you can either pass on to your kids or at least use as an educational tool
Yeah,
for your kids.
that's pretty incredible. That's a thought I've had of like we see too much, and we think. I don't want to say we think too big because big thinking's a good thing, but you know, we forget about where we are, where we reside, where we are presently. We forget to be in the present, right? And I think that's a good point to that of focus on the people around you. Don't worry about, scaling nationally, right? If it's good enough locally, it'll scale nationally, right? But being
Yeah,
to impact people that you're around every day is probably the most important thing out there.
yeah, and I think, don't get me wrong, very thankful for my current job. I enjoy my job. Gonna keep doing this hopefully for a long time. But, like I said, I work throughout the Southeast and the Northeast.
Hmm.
Every conversation, every call I have is with somebody that's not local.
Yeah.
And so, you shut the computer off, you walk away from the desk, and you're not as plugged in. You're surrounded by people that you're not engaged with. And that's one of the things I actually miss about Indiana and about Invest is I can tell you, people in government in all of these different cities. I knew the different companies. I knew, I was plugged into different organizations. Like I had that immediate impact on my local community, and I felt like I had a place and connection and that type of thing.